Hello everyone, TLSG here. Today we are going to be running a little bit of Thanos Control, but it's updated for the new current meta. A few months ago, Thanos Control absolutely took over the game, and this has kind of been my comfort list over the last couple of weeks. It helped me slingshot to infinite even though I wasn't able to play very much. Speaking of not being able to play as much, TLSG, where have you been? So there's been some sickness in my house, and first I came down with it, and then my wife caught it, and then my daughter, and then my son, and it's just kind of worked its way through the house, and with that, I have been stretched and extended way more than what I typically am, and so I wasn't able to juggle work, taking care of things at home, and then being able to do the videos as well, and so it just kind of happened. I just didn't have enough hours in the day or the energy to be able to do and keep up with everything. So I am glad to be back. Today we're going to be running the Thanos control list, and it operates really, really well. This has been my comfort list, my go-to list. I've really enjoyed playing this one. It has the old standard Psylocke to ramp into a 5-cost a turn early, so whether that be a Professor X, a Devil Dino, a Vision, you have that option. You have the Iron Lad to get the extended reach. With that comes Jeff. Jeff is great anytime you're running a Professor X, but I wouldn't say he's absolutely required. He's just nice to have. And then we have the new edition of the monthly release of Elsa Bloodstone. Elsa allows this deck to get a little bit more reach, especially since you're going to typically be flooding a lot of cards onto the board. Elsa helps make sure that you are able to get a little bit of extra oomph at times whenever you absolutely need it. And so I'll keep the explanation relatively short. I'm glad to be back, guys, but before we jump over into any games, I'd like to introduce today's video sponsor. In Dungeon Hunter 6, killing a boss is not the end, it's just the beginning. For every boss that you want to defeat, the game has a unique mechanism where you can not only loot, ride, and fly them, but you can also summon up to 3 onto the battlefield to become members of your squad. Make them follow you into battle and perform combo skills. And whenever you reach late game, you can even shapeshift into them to harness their ultimate power. There are over 100 uniquely designed bosses to conquer and explore, and with new classes and units being updated monthly, the fun of the battle is endless. Dungeon Hunter 6 takes its 3D graphic performance to the next level with stunning skill animations that are optimized for multicasting to ensure the best visual experience and the smoothest combat on mobile devices. And there are several other really cool features in the game, like being able to play with your guildmates and battle in real-time guild wars. There's a variety of skill tree options to test multiple builds, and you can trade items via the auction system. Download the game for free on both Android and iOS. You can use my link in the description or scan the QR code if you're viewing on a PC to get a special starter pack containing 10 summoning scrolls, 1 SSR Lieutenant Demonic Wolf, and 1 accessory pack worth $50 using my custom link. Use your game account for free to enter the launch Lucky Spin event to win great prizes like an iPhone 15 Pro Max, a PS5, and more starting from October 15th. See the description for more details. Double vision. Sitting looking at a double vision gives us a lot of flexibility. I could end up doing Alioth. I could end up doing Shang-Chi to clear some space. I kind of like it, but I'm also a little bit afraid because they did snap back. We're going to push it anyways. The Jane Foster is big. Depending on where our vision goes will depend. Okay, so they have initiative going into this turn. And so otherwise, something like maybe a Alioth here and here could have been the play. But since they have initiative, we're looking at a Shang-Chi. I can change the nexus. I can rip that one away. I'm going to go all in and say that they are not going to change the nexus location. That's my gut. That's my gut speaking, but that's what we're going to go with. That is what I'm going to go with for a big potential 8-cube match. The double Mjolnir, perfectly fine as long as they don't have a Cosmo to block the Shang-Chi in the middle location. Otherwise, I think we're perfectly fine here. We will see, of course, the quad. I guess it's just the double Mjolnir because it doesn't have anywhere to duplicate. A potential hit monkey is very worrisome now at this point. But if we can clear, as long as we can clear the Nexus, Kitty Pryde comes down. That is only 8 power. Shadow King comes down. It actually offsets their Thor in the right lane, which it doesn't because of Luke Cage. The bishop is also going to be within Shang-Chi range. We can greatly take out that middle location, but can we win any of the other two from that flip? It's going to be very, very close. We do. We tie the right lane, we win the left lane, we win mid by a large margin. We will take the 8-cube victory where we can, and what a way to start off the video. The first location is the Space Throne, so we're going to have to be careful. The good thing is Elsa will help us get a little bit of extra reach there if we draw her and whenever we play there, since it will be filling up that location. So they run Bast. It could be Cerebro 3. A couple of other decks have been floating around that use the Bast. Actually, I think Man-Thing actually floats around with Bast. But Mobius comes down. That's also a 3 power card. So it very well could be Cerebro 3. That one's been very, very consistently strong. So we have the Time Stone. We can ramp into a 5 cost, but I think it's going to be more beneficial to do something like maybe Cosmo. And we're going to do Cosmo into Nidavellir. They won't be able to yank that location away unless they have Legion, but then our read on what kind of deck this is completely wrong, and it won't matter. But unless they change it this turn. Ooh, the Forge into the Falcon is super interesting. So it's definitely not what I was thinking. The Forge into Falcon is like kind of the new fun combo with Forge being brought down to a 1-cost card. So they do snap on us. They snap back. Having the Shang-Chi here would be nice to clear things like Falcon, but we have some pretty decent possibilities for our Iron Lad. Next turn, we can always do something like Vision and then move it around as needed. But let's go Iron Lad and see what we end up hitting. They have the Angela. They're going to have just a big burst. The good thing with this deck and having Space Throne to the left is that they're not going to be able to flood too much. So I think it is going to be potentially able to be beaten, but we'll see. We will absolutely see if we can hold it down. The Iron Lad comes down. All right, so we're looking at a pretty standard deck. I don't think they're going to be running a Shang-Chi, and so I'm actually going to play a Devil Dino into Nidavellir because we're going to have quite a few cards to work with. I think maybe we have to worry about a Hawk, and if so, if they do a Hawk to the left, that's beautiful because we do have the Shang-Chi staring it down. There is the Hawk coming down, the massive 25 power Hawk, but we are going to be able to counter that with the Shang-Chi. And I guess feeling like they had been outbeaten after the snapback, we are able to hold down the 4 cubes. We will take it. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Cartoons. We have Time Stone, which is going to let us ramp into a turn for Professor X. I'm going to go ahead and do a Soul Stone. I'm going to throw it into the left lane. Just because I think we might be able to steal that one away maybe later on with like a Jeff or a Vision. And so I'm going to push for that. Oh my goodness. Kiln as well. So Kiln into Vault is just devastating. Let's go ahead and throw Space Stone into Kiln now, I guess. We will have one turn 5 to throw into the Vault. Wow. Let's go ahead and snap on it. Maybe they'll stick around, maybe they'll leave. We don't know. I'm not going to play Time Stone just yet because I don't have the Psylocke to also ramp with. Since we do have the lockdown component, I'm going to let that one kind of simmer. So we get the Shang-Chi. They have Angela, so they may be able to get a decent reach into the Kiln location. Oh my goodness, into Sanctum Sanctorum is just absurdity. What is going on with this game? Well, we would have to rely on a Jeff. We could do Reality Stone into Time Stone. Then that will give us the choice. Or Reality Stone into Time Stone. That would make them more likely to play and fight for Kiln versus the Vault. That's my read, and we're sticking to it. We're going to split the difference. We're going to fight for both. The Avengers Compound. So on turn 5, all cards would have to be played into the left lane. But we're going to be locking it down. So definitely going to be an interesting one. I mean, maybe we don't lock it down. Let's think it through. If we locked it down, and we weren't able to draw very specifically Jeff to fight for Sanctum Sanctorum. It comes down to a point differential, which right now I don't know that we win. If they do something like Kitty Pryde that goes up to 6, they have one of our stones, the Power Stone. I don't think we win that one. So we could go with a blue Marvel over here. If we draw Jeff, great. It's not fantastic. Not ooh, we could also go something like Iron Lad and then Power Stone. With the lever of blue Marvel on 5 or 6, might be able to give us the extra reach that we need. I like that. And then Iron Lad, if it hits Elsa, that's fine, that's perfect. Which they do have their Elsa Bloodstone. The Power Stone comes in at a massive 8 power in the kiln location. We do have Eliath, so we actually take out their Power Stone. We take out their Elsa Bloodstone. They are stuck with only 10. We bump up to 11. What a wild play. Their Kitty Pryde comes back in. They know we have the Eliath now. We're going to go blue Marvel, and then they're going to have to hope that they can maybe they can reach something else in kiln. That was such a beautiful Eliath top deck. Let's go with the blue Marvel. We could try to do Professor X, but I don't want to try to get cheeky. I think blue Marvel into Eliath is going to be everything that we need to bring this one the rest of the way home. They go Collector, they go Loki, and so that is going to bump up their Collector, but they know we have the Eliath to lean in on. If they end up going with like a Jeff, which we did end up being able to draw the Jeff, if they go Jeff here, that would 3, 4, 5 let them win, let them tie this location. But, of course, they're going to lose this left lane courtesy of the Eliath play. And so I don't think they stick this one out. I think they end up retreating. Yeah. They're so mad. Oh, no. I'm so sorry, cartoons. It happens, man. You just have to waver the RNG storm. Let's jump over into the next one. All right, so the first location is Titan. We do have Reality Stone. It is always going to be my play to play the Reality Stone in the right lane. That way I have complete information going into that next turn. We do end up drawing a Tealin, or I guess generating a Tealin from the Reality Stone. Mind Stone is great, except for the fact that we're going to be shuffling all of our cards. So I'm going to go ahead and play Jeff. That way we can stop Nebula from scaling. Seeing the Nebula, I still primarily think of like a high Evo deck, or sometimes like a Flood style deck, which with the Mysterio looks like maybe what they're going with. It's like a Hitmonkey deck, but that's kind of crazy that this is what that they play the Mysterio outright that early. Let's go ahead and play the Psylocke. I'm going to go ahead and play the Mind Stone just so that it's on the board, just so that it's out of our hand, or just so that it's out of our deck. We don't have the chance to draw back into it. We do have the chance to be able to do a Professor X lock on turn number 4 because of the Psylocke ramp. We can also do some pretty big things like Blue Marvel, Devil Dino, Vision. All of those are fantastic, and we draw not a single one. So with the Invisible Woman, we're looking at like a heavy ongoing cards here. I think we're going to go, I want to go Cosmo into maybe Space and Time Stone. That's going to draw through our deck a little bit further. We're going to be able to block some kind of ongoing ability. Actually, let's go ahead and do Time Stone here. Space Stone will allow me to move the Time Stone back. We stop the Nebula from scaling for this turn. Cosmo is going to stop any kind of on reveals from behind Invisible Woman. So we're thinking right now like Shadow King, maybe even the Hitmonkey play. But it's not going to work behind that location anymore. And so the Mobius comes down. I don't think we're worried about a wave. Maybe they have Sarah that they're going to play on this turn. Sarah could potentially be a play that they would want to go with. So how to play this one now? I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to move Psylocke, play the Soul Stone, play the Professor X. Actually, maybe that's not the case, because I can always move Jeff later. So it might even be that I just do this. I have the option or the lever to move Jeff over if I need or think I need the extra 3. And it's going to be 1 extra power, so that could be the difference between losing that left lane and winning it. And so they do play for the right lane, thankfully. Let's see what they end up coming up with. I don't know that we... Ooh, Patriot. is interesting. Patriot's a very interesting one. Move Jeff over and then Thanos, I think we're fine. I know that there's some like Patriot, Silver Surfer style hybrids, but it always feels like if it doesn't pop, it just ends up feeling very lackluster. All right, next up we have Deluxe. The first location is the Crimson Cosmos. We have Space Stone and Reality Stone. I'm going to go ahead and throw Reality Stone into the right lane so I can go into turn number 2 with perfect locational information. Oh my goodness, that is unfortunate for both of us because we're both running a Thanos deck, and now Subterranea is going to plague our draws. But with the Rock, that's not bad. Well, let's see what the Rock is cooking. Let's go Time Stone. Let's go Time Stone. That'll allow us to draw. We can eventually do the Space Stone to allow me to play into the Altar of Death. And, it's interesting. So the Power Stone comes down. I do have the free draw from Altar of Death, so that's going to give extra energy. Elsa Bloodstone is an interesting one. If I can get something like Vision or Jeff, I can get some pretty decent reach. I mean, my goodness, so much to play off of here. So the Rock, the Space Stone should allow me to do like both Blue Marvel and maybe move something over into Altar of Death next turn. I don't know. We'll see. They have the Mind Stone that's going to allow them to draw cards. They're going to thin through their deck, but I'm also able to thin through the deck, and we're getting the extra energy. This is going to be wild. It really comes down to who gets lucky with their top decks, and we draw a Rock. So we have now drawn, what, three of the Rocks total from our deck or something silly like that. I'm going to move Elsa over here. We're going to destroy this one. And then I'm going to go ahead and do Blue Marvel first. It's a little bit more expensive, plus it's guaranteed to give us some value across the board. We could potentially combo Iron Lad with something else a little bit easier with that one extra energy. And so we could also very easily end up hitting a Rock with Iron Lad and it just kind of be a dud. So we're going to go ahead and sacrifice one more Rock, which is wild. Wild that we've hit so many Rocks. The Devil Dino. The devil is in the details. They go with the Reality Stone, which changes the middle location into Muir Island. We now will be able to play for that location. I have a Cosmopolitan is what we're looking at. I almost want to do something like this and just go ahead and wipe out this location. But it's risky. Because that puts a very specific amount of information into the opponent's hands. I'm going to go ahead and do it, though. I don't see a better play unless we're just going to... we could have gambled. We should have gambled with Iron Lad in the left lane. That, I think, would be a little bit more... I think that would be a little bit better and position us to have that surprise element of the Shang-Chi on the last turn. But it's okay. So they go Blue Marvel in the left lane. Their Devil Dino is massive. We're still going to be able to take that out. We'll see what Iron Lad would have hit. I do wish we would have went Iron Lad in Crimson Cosmos. Jeff. Jeff is... He is what he is. Can they beat 10 power in the right lane? I want to say no. So something like this could give us some pretty unique reach. I'm already winning this location, so maybe it's just that we do something like this. Play a little bit over here, play a little bit here, play a little bit here as well. That's what I'm going to do, and we'll see. I have nothing that they can take out with Shang-Chi. I think we're in a relatively decent spot, unless maybe they have a Doctor Doom. Could do it for us, but most Thanos decks that I've seen or that I've ran up against or that I've tested ended up cutting the Doctor Doom just for more consistency's sake. That is a lot of cards, my friend. Oh my goodness. We should have double stacked into mid, I suppose. The Viper comes down. The Time Stone comes down. The Titania comes down. The Rock. And the Rock. Is it going to be enough after the Rock gets to cooking? It is not. We are going to hold it down. That was very, very scary. I thought we lost that for just a quick second. I will gladly take the 2 cubes where I can.